married as teenagers in high numbers back then. The average marriage back then was between 21 and 24 that we
That's your experience.
No, that's the
family.
I wasn't there. You weren't there to speak on that. What about your freaking generation? What the fuck y'all doing?
Welcome back to the channel. I was watching this clip over at the BLPThonLexy network, and there was this discussion happening, and they had an older woman, an older black woman, and a younger black woman having a discussion, and of course, the younger hyena started disrespecting the OG. Things got choppy, and it made for a very interesting exchange. Let's go ahead and get into it. Let's not waste 1 minute.
Yeah, I don't think that marriage should be considered outdated at all. We've been married for years and years and years, and we should continue to be married for years and years to come. So I don't really care what hoes are talking about, if they trying to get with men or not. You know, I don't want marriage. I want his money. Who cares about that? Because that's not going to be anything longevity at all. But it still needs to be pushed marriage regardless if they want to hear it or not. Eventually they will, you know, want this marriage because of their outcome, right? So as they get older, they're going to see, okay, well, this is not the life that I actually really want, because they're going to be pretty miserable being, you know, by themselves, you know, or even hanging with their friends. They thinking that being with their friends forever. I got my best friend, when we all know that best friends don't last forever. Hell, friendships don't even last forever.
Well, they die.
So, and I understand people keep talking about, oh, we could get a divorce. Yeah, but you could fix that. There's a lot of situations where people got divorced and they should have never been divorced, right? There's people that divorce for cheating, right? Because someone got someone pregnant, right? That's acceptable. Okay, cool. But there's people divorcing over the silliest fucking reasons. And it's stupid as hell to me. Like, I even come from a family of divorce. If I tell you why my parents got divorced, you're gonna be like, oh yeah, that shouldn't even be a statistic, but it is.
That's facts. That's facts. That's facts.
I've also been through the same thing where my parents split up, and it's still not even quite clear why they even split in the first place. Like, not exactly. And that's how you know for sure that it probably has something to do with the selfish decision making of one of the two people.
Better and working on ourselves and working on our skill sets, because the same way that we look at, let me have qualifications for this job that I want. Okay, well, there's qualifications for the marriage that you want, and nobody's actually having them. They're just getting together for necessity or whatever, or they want to have a kid, or, you know, I hear women saying, oh, he has nice hair, he has nice eyes, I need to have a child with that man.
That's stupid.
And then they don't want to look like a hoe, so they get married to him. Or they want to have a big ass wedding and have, you know, fancy cars or whatever the case is, but they could do that better with another person. They getting married for the wrong reason. So I think we just need to help them understand that's not what marriage is about. It's not about those things. So
yeah, and that sounds really nice, but it's just never going to happen. It doesn't. It won't, because here's the thing. If women really wanted to be married, we'd be virgins on our wedding night. And so if she left the first boyfriend for the husband or whatever, it's like, what's going to stop her from leaving for the next one?
I had to cheat on you because you were literally going to cheat on me.
Sorry. Yeah, but you know, for like real, I understand what you're saying. All of us should be virgins before we get married, but you already know that's not being taught.
You play too much.
That doesn't mean that does not mean that people cannot get married.
Oh, no, it's taught. It's taught.
I think you're being very dishonest, ma'am, to say that it's not being taught. Come on now. I mean, we're black. We grew up in the black community. It's being taught all throughout the black community. Y'all just didn't listen. There's a difference.
Teaching, get birth control, have a condom. Why is that even available? We know for money, right? Consumers, cool. Yeah. But at the same time, this is what they're giving to women. Yeah. So they're going to say, oh, yeah, I can have sex. Cool. I'm going to do both.
I don't like that line of that thought process, because if we constantly blame the school system and we say women are doing this because we're taught it, it really takes accountability off of the women. If you weren't a virgin on your wedding day, you did it because you wanted to throw it back. You know what I mean? Like,
stop being nasty. You need to put your nasty on strike.
This is why Pearl has become so unpopular amongst women in the last 5 years. Because, again, she's not afraid to speak truth to women. And you already know what they do to you when you're not afraid to speak truth to women.
Open his head, my family.
It wasn't because they gave you
No,
it wasn't
that
because
doesn't.
they gave you condoms at school. It was when
is.
women have sex.
But it
No,
is.
come on. Like now you're gonna blame the teachers. You're an
I
adult.
didn't say
Be an
that's the
adult.
I didn't say that was all of the reason. I'm saying that
Yeah.
contributes to it. So obviously it starts with the household. But what household that you know is that parents are teaching their kids to not have sex?
I came from a Catholic school, so they did teach us not to have sex, and
I
everyone
was in a Catholic school as well.
Yeah,
I
so
was in a
they
Catholic
okay, so
Me
you know
too.
they throw it back anyway. It doesn't matter
I
if
was
they
gonna say
teach
those
them.
Catholic kids.
No,
Yeah, come on. And the
Sweeney
thing is,
trying to get in.
what I would say, the difference is, I knew kids that decided to wait till they were I knew people that waited till they were married and they were not raised religious, but that woman had the character. It wasn't the school's fault. It wasn't. If a woman wants to do it, she'll do it. But most women don't.
Women are born hoes.
Kinda, yeah. I mean, that's
No.
what we've shown is when women get the freedom to be anything.
I don't think the word isn't hoes. The word is like everybody wants. Everybody desires sex.
It's not just as simple as everyone desires sex, because if it was that simple, then we wouldn't find ourselves in having the issues, that we have. It's not just that everyone desires sex. It's that women are incentivized to make poor decisions with their body in the West, so they do. For example, in the Middle East, you don't get any money for putting a man on child support. You don't get any benefits for having a baby out of wedlock. So guess what happens? The women don't do it. The women don't have a lot of babies out of wedlock. There aren't a lot of single mothers walking around in the Middle East. So again, the laws in the West prove that if women are given the opportunity to be a little bit looser, especially void of consequence, they'll do it.
Wants to have sex. Everybody's sexual.
Why can't it be hoes? Why y'all triggered by hoes? Why you can't just call a spade a spade?
I mean,
because when I think of the word hoe,
Hold on.
it requires multiple partners, excessive promiscuity. I think a girl that has a boyfriend at 17 and had sex with them and stayed with them for some years, and that was her only sexual partner, and then she got one more boyfriend at 22. That's not a hoe. We're not gonna just say that because she desired sex that's a hoe.
But
that's not a hoe. She had hormones like everybody else.
Unrealistic talking about women in
got
2025.
Pearl said that
even
women
20
have
years before that.
freedom. We have freedom. That's the key word. Freedom,
Yeah,
right?
but can we be honest here? Yeah, can we be
That's the
honest though?
problem.
Most women aren't having sex with 2-3 guys.
Right.
That's not really
I
normal.
think the number's 50 for a 20-year-old. I mean, they did the stat on that. It's really high.
We don't know. Women will always lie about that. So there's no
stat for that, lady.
Oh, come on.
And for any guys who are confused, who are out there and who are thinking, well, if all women are going to do is lie anyway, Thon, and all they're going to do is lie to me about what their body count really is, and you can never really know, how can you really tell what their body count is? Well, I'll give you the most accurate way to kind of narrow down where it might be, okay? The best way to do it is not even think about it in a number. Think about it in the sense of her reputation in the community. The body count is what men collectively know about her, have experienced with her. That's why a lot of times when a guy gets with a woman who's been with everybody on the block, there's always somebody who's like, hey man, you don't want to...
Hey, stupid. You realize you just kissed that nigga at the party?
You don't want to mess with that. Guys kind of look out for each other.
Because number one, with all this gray hair, I'm obviously older than everybody on the panel.
Let's lift the motherfucking thing back. Wait a minute, that's enough.
All these women aren't even older women, and none of them lived in that time, and they all are trying to act like they know about what these women went through. They claim to know the psychological state of these women and what they were thinking about, and it's only to move them out of credibility so that all these women who don't have the backbone and the strength and the willingness to sacrifice as the women of old, that we won't pay attention to them as much. We won't criticize them if you just criticize the women who actually were strong enough to make the sacrifices for the men. Let's go ahead and get back into it.
Any married as teenagers in high numbers back then. The average marriage back then was between 21 and 24. I have great uncles and great aunties who still alive, still married to the same person. They did not get married underage. Nobody had kids out of underage at all. My aunties was in their 20s after they were married. They got married to build a legacy. So it has nothing to do with it. That is a small percentage of that's the stat. If they would never have
if she was there.
This is absurd. Black women, I'm convinced that literally if Jesus Christ himself came down rapture style and just came down and was like, black women, you're the problem. You need to fix yourself and yada, yada, yada. I think y'all would cuss Jesus out. Like, I think y'all are just so above reproach that you could be looking at somebody who has lived far more life than you, already experienced everything you're about to experience, already jumped the hurdles you're about to jump, and you still think you know more than somebody who's lived. But let's get back into the clip.
Grandmother got married at 19.
Y'all, hold on. Let me finish. Let me finish. They were never having babies as teenagers in high numbers. Hold on. I'm from that group. I had a kids as a teenager. It wasn't many of me, even in the Gen X age. We weren't having kids as teenagers in high numbers. We always made a small percentage, and they weren't getting married in high numbers back then under the age of like 21. It was a small, you can go look it up. I don't care how you do the stat, but it did not happen in high numbers. Okay, so when you put out something, you're talking about a small percentage of people that did that, but you're trying to make it seem like all those people just getting married and having sex. They were not getting together.
We said they was having sex before marriage, lady, y'all.
So y'all basically saying that women are the problem.
Were having sex before marriage, and they just got married. That's what we said. And Bougie was saying they usually got pregnant and needed to get married, and that's why a lot of them were.
They didn't even usually do that. They got married first.
They were already having sex. And that
was a smaller percentage of women who were doing that. It wasn't the majority of women were not getting married because they were pregnant.
No, were they having sex? That wasn't my question. I said, were they having sex? Because the beginning of the argument was that girls
some were not. Some were not. A majority of them were not. We got to stop putting out false narratives.
A majority of what wasn't having sex.
I wasn't there. You weren't there to speak on that. What about your freaking generation? What the fuck y'all doing?
Girl, I had to catch your face. He just broke it, girl.
You just did.
Why are you so angry about?
Every single time a black woman is reprimanded or she's being addressed in an aggressive manner, now it's the tone police. Why are you so angry? Now black women, the most angriest demographic of women, now they think that they can tell somebody that they're angry and that they should not be so angry, even though you are the angriest of the broads in the dating market.
And I'm not bitter. I'm mad as hell.
Why are you so angry about it, though?
Your generation and our generation is
that it's social media. I'm trying to get my point across. Y'all keep over talking me.
I haven't over talked you at all.
Okay, y'all, did I say you?
Like you, why did you like get so defensive?
He got so bad.
Well, I gotta look at it.
I'm not mad.
It's okay.
I gotta look.
I think she had every right to get defensive because you guys are not from her generation. But here's the issue. You're speaking like you are, though. So again, she's offended because you women are making assumptions about people who she grew up around, who she cared about, and who she valued, and you're not telling the truth.
Incentives here. And I just think there's no incentive, no offense, and respectfully, there's no incentive for older women to be honest about hoeing. There's no incentive. So, like, why
at all?
Great point.
You know, they love to make it seem like they're saints.
Yeah, like,
that's what I'm saying.
And they have all the answers. Older women having all the answers, but being divorced.
And this speaks to why men need men more than ever. Why men coming together and having conversations about dating and relationships are more important than ever. There will be things that women are getting away with that a lot of men just aren't aware of. And all it takes is a little bit of a tweaking of your thinking. And now you're a little bit more equipped for the pitfalls that are going to inevitably show up in the dating market. So let's get back into it.
Being part of baby mama culture, being a part of all of the problems that they say that the younger generation are, as if they have all the answers, is diabolical. It's crazy. It's crazy.
That's a lie. Most of us hold ourselves accountable. I've always held myself accountable for my past, so we can cut that fuckery out right there.
Accountability doesn't have anything to do with you made the mistake. No. Let me clarify my statement. I didn't say you weren't accountable. I didn't say you weren't accountable. I didn't say you weren't accountable, Lady-O. I said you were a part of the failure. You're a part of baby mama culture. You're a divorcee. You are a part of the failure we're talking about.
Because if you really have a good argument, you should not have to shame somebody. Shaming is just a way to get control of the conversation.
Nasty, nasty, nasty business. Nasty. This just shows that, like, to defend these talking points and to defend these bogus logic that they've put together, they don't even care about disrespecting older people who have paved the way for them to live. And I'm here to tell you, ladies, Mr. Samuels had a failed relationship or two, but it didn't qualify him or disqualify him to do the work that he did. And wasn't the work still valid?
Getting a divorce does not mean I was a failure, sweetheart.
It means you failed.
Tell him, OG.
It means you failed. You're not his wife anymore. Now you're his baby mama. You're not his wife no more. Now you're his baby mama. That's it. Being an ex-wife don't make you special. It means you lost.
What are you talking about? I know
being an ex-wife doesn't make you special. It means you lost.
No, I did not.
You lost.
I'm a winner, baby. You're not on my level.
You lost.
Never will be.
You are not a wife no more. You lost.
I agree with the OG when she says that you're never going to be on her level. Because again, no matter what the OG has gone through, she's at least listening and trying to be objective about what's going on. There isn't anything jaded about her experience. She's basing things off of things she's seen that you couldn't have seen because, I don't know, you weren't even alive when they happened. Hope you guys got something out of the content. It's DonLexy. Hit the subscribe button and way out of the room. Also, with notification bells to be notified every single time we post content just like this. Let's get a conversation going in the comment section. See you on the next one.